Hey everyone, you are on the Science Channel, and welcome to the Creeper Overhaul Mod Review. It will change vanilla creepers beyond recognition by adding new unique variants in different biomes. Before watching, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and leave comments for me. It is very important to help promote the videos and the channel as a whole, and we will do not lose a second and move on to the review creeper up. Let's start with the usual vanilla creeper. Our favorite green cucumber has been transformed and has a beautiful skin and animation, as if slightly swaying or breathing in general, except for the visuals. He does not differ from the vanilla, except that when ignited, he starts to glow eyes. After that, he will of course explode. He is not a separate or completely new mob. He is summoned by the same standard egg spavin as beautiful in the biome of the mesa or wasteland. Call it what you want. There is already such a unique variation of the creeper. It seems to consist of terracotta with flecks of gold ore, and his body has a quite thick and sturdy. And on top of his head is a small cactus that can be trimmed by carefully sneaking up to him and pressing scissors on the edges. In this case, our creeper, fuck this, we will get his unique hat that can be placed on absolutely any blocks or wear on his head as Mo Day Woo Green Hat. When it sees the player, it will slowly approach like this, waddling in a funny way. And when it approaches, it will ignite like a standard creeper and explode with the same damage as the vanilla one. And if you manage to kill it, it will drop a few units of gunpowder and gold nuggets with a chance to die. And you may not even notice the next creeper because they look like a stick of bamboo to us. You may not even notice the next creeper in the thick of the bamboo forests because they look like a stick of bamboo to us. Their amazing appearance really easily allows them to camouflage themselves in the environment of this biome. These creepers don't explode unlike the others, and they don't drop powder when they die, only a few sticks of bamboo with a small chance of dropping the next beach. Creepers appear and guess where they spent in the Bill of Me beach near the water. These guys are well camouflaged themselves among the local sand. However, they are distinguished by dangling seaweed and rocks embedded in their bodies and have a shell on their heads. Once they see a player, they will immediately attack you and explode in principle like a normal creeper. Because they are smaller than many other creepers, they are easier to kill, but unfortunately, the reward is not as good. But it is not always seagrass and also blocks of sand. The next sibling of this creeper is also quite low. And the cave creeper that is accordingly cave-like external texture is not similar to any of the existing types of stones. And although still in the dark, it blends very clearly with the landscape, seeing the player in the it will immediately approach its target and explode in survival mode, which I think is a reduced damage, but maybe it's just me. And if you get close to it, it won't van shoot on death drops, raw iron supports, and a pile of stone dark forest creeper appears among dark oaks and mushrooms. It is aggressive to the player, and when it approaches, it will explode, and also impose a blindness effect for a few seconds at night in the middle of the dark forest. After such an explosion, you will not be able to see anything around you. It has a considerable epoid. And at the death of the drop unusual is a lot of gunpowder and dark logs and cobwebs. The next object of our attention in today's video will be a desert creeper. It seems to consist of sandstone watchman cookers, and also for the growth of small thorny bushes. And on top of it is a small cactus where I'm sure you know what to do with it, trim it, and get a unique hat. Players and dislikes him when approaching to do the same thing that happens to my farts while playing Dark Souls of when defeated, drops cacti and gunpowder, and the next friend of ours sulfur brownish color with a sharp stalactite on his head, and looks like this creeper from the Kapilnik, looks like the block of the same name and appears respectively in caves. Also knows how to explode with relatively low health like a beach creeper, and when dying it drops capillary and hill powder, and their creepers can be found on all sorts of elevations. They are a swayed stone slab with grown grass on the top of the head. And although given their shape, it is difficult to say where their body begins and their head ends, they are in general. In general, they consist of one solid plate of XP. They have a hell of a lot of them. You will need to hit them a lot of Zatov later. Also get some gunpowder. But on the player, first they attack only will stroll on their business in the territory around. If you do attack them, they can explode. In the jungle appears the very first variation of the creeper, which was added in this mode. It has a texture of the body in the form of a local log. His head is half of cobblestone overgrown with moss and also has a beautiful naturally grown wreath. The mushroom biomes are also more insecure. Are there a mushroom breed of creeper with a cool texture like this? And a live walking fly with a blackened leg and some kind of face? They are not hostile initially, but can fight back after you first attack them. When they die, as standard, they drop a gan powder. Then we move to the savannah, which is the home of the acacia totem creeper. He has 3 heads that all have their own lives and can rotate separately no matter where he is looking. This is a really interesting MOBA concept, and I definitely give the developer a like at least for this creeper. Although the others are also very good, despite the fact that he has so many heads. It would be cool if you attack it, about it will come up to you and do melee damage, also can't explode and falls from it, as you guessed acacia would, but with a chance. Well, meanwhile, we move on to the next creature. This wonderful white lamb will appear in the cold lands of the tundra or other similar snowy peonies. As you guessed, it is also friendly melee. We will accordingly come up to you and hit you with its powerful horns. Sometimes it can deal damage several times very quickly, causing you to die quickly. It drops only a small amount of experience. Snowballs and other useful items do not fall from snowfields. Let's move to a slightly warmer swamp, where something like mauve creepers appear. They have a huge hat of water lilies on their head, overgrown with grass on top, and the front part is covered with someone's bones. We see some poor traveler who died in the local swamp. The pits are not quite standard. Seeing the player, they will come pumped further. Women know, but if you manage to defeat them, although their health is not so great, you will get a few units of gunpowder and bones. In my opinion, quite a reward. And the habitat of the last of our explosive friends is taiga or mega taiga. Note that their non-snow versions are small and mossy, and one of their eyes is also susceptible to X. And at the top, there is a fragment of one of the trees overgrown with brown mushrooms. They are all aggressive and very fast, and since they are often found in groups, I can easily destroy you with my powerful explosions if you manage to kill them before it falls out. Powder and pine logs. There are also 2 interesting projects related to this mod, and the first one is a resource pack that will change the animation of creepers from the mod itself. It's called Overhaul Creepers, and the link to it will be available in the description. It slightly changes their swing and overall gait. As you can see, their legs start to move a bit differently. It's actually a very subtle change. But they do move a bit differently if you look closely, and the second resource pack called Overhaul Optifine Creeper is even more interesting. You need Optifine for it to work, but you don't need to install the Overhaul Creeper mod. And when you spawn creepers in a biome, they will take the skin and model from the same creeper variants I showed in this mod. Of course, they will all be regular creepers and won't have any special properties like melee attack or blinding like the creepers from the Dark Forest. But in general, this will appeal to all players who appreciate the visuals in this mod but still want to play vanilla. That's the end of the Overhaul Creeper content. As always, thank you all very much for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and leave comments. It's very important and very helpful to promote the video and the channel as a whole. And this is goodbye, and see you in the next video on Namen Mods. Good luck to all, bye.